EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. Is anyone out there? So let me know if you can hear me okay. It's the first time using the Elgato setup. I just want to make sure everything's coming through okay. I hope. And we'll just dive around some NCAA 14. Classic PS3 game. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing the audio 1, 2, 3. Hey, someone type in the chat, let me know. Test 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check. Alright. I did my own test. Looks like it's working. Cool. Thanks, Connor. Appreciate that. Hey, so NCAA 14. We're 2 days away from the draft. I have not fired this game up for a long time, but I did make sure I had a fairly recent roster downloaded, so I figured we could start just by looking around at that maybe and just doing a little bit of draft talk and whatnot. I've been following pretty closely with, again, all sports really being shut down right now. I've been following along pretty closely what my Lions might be doing or might not be doing, and again, it might be fun just to take a look around at some of the rosters here. Let me make sure the right roster is loaded though. Let's see. I have one from like the year the game came out, and then I have a recent one. Yeah, here's a recent one. So what better way to start, I guess, right? Let's go check out Joe Burrow. Now again, this was, oh, he's still a 99. I was going to say, let's start off at the, this is the beginning of the season. I don't think anyone really expected him to have the year that he ended up having. But again, you can see Joe Burrow there. LSU quarterback, of course. If you have requests or anything you want me to check out, this is totally unscripted. I'm just kind of going, testing out the Elgato for a stream we're going to be doing tomorrow. An NFL head coach 09 franchise stream series that we're going to be doing. So yeah, got the PS3 rigged up here. Took a little bit of time to get that sorted. It's not an easy process, but it's not terribly difficult. So I guess we can just kind of keep going in order of like your general mock draft or so, because I'm just curious to see just how these players all look in this game. So you can see Joe Burrow there, again on LSU. Second pick, we go to Ohio State. It seems to be Chase Young, right? It's what everyone is saying. So if we go over to defensive end, there he is. 98 overall, 6'5", 265. Hydesville, Maryland, so it'll be a local draftee there for the Washington football team. So third pick, also on Ohio State. Again, most mocks, I'm not really sold that the Lions are going to do this personally, but Jeff Okudah is the player probably most commonly slotted in at number 3. I could see the Lions doing anything in this pick, trading back, drafting a number of different defensive players. I'll probably talk a little bit more about the Lions in this stream, honestly, because again, that's the team I follow, that's the team I've been brushed up on the most, and truthfully, even if you're not a Lions fan, I think that they're in the most intriguing place to start the draft. It seems like the first 2 picks are pretty obvious, but again, you never know. You absolutely never know. Miami's got a lot of draft power. I mean, what if they were to move up and pick Joe Burrow? It's crazy talk, but it could be possible. And certainly, I could see Washington potentially moving out of the second pick. So, but the fourth pick, again, I would say there's probably a few players that have been going around. There's some tackles, but I'm curious to take a look at Isaiah Simmons on Clemson, who seems to be, again, the mocks I've looked at seem to have him going. Where do they have him at in this game? Could be anywhere. No, they have no. They have him at safety? There he is. So a strong safety, 6'4", 230. Isaiah Simmons, so a 98. Again, just a beast of a player. Fifth, again, starts to get a little interesting. Continues to get interesting, I should say. So if we go and look at, and this is, again, probably the most intriguing player in the draft, right? Tua Tagovailoa, on whether or not Miami's going to pick him. Are they going to pass and take Justin Herbert? Are they going to trade up to get Tagovailoa? There's all of these different things that could be happening. I didn't realize his brother's on the team. That's interesting. Taulia Tagovailoa. Huh, that's cool. 5'11", smaller than his brother. A little stockier even. Oh, maybe they're not. Wait, Alabaster. I don't know how accurate his hometown is there, but that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Sixth is the Chargers picking, and I think I don't know. I would be surprised if they don't pick a quarterback. I think they actually want to get Tua because they're not drawing any fans into their games, and I think he could be a good draw. He's somewhat local on the west coast there of Hawaii, where he's originally from. So that could just be a good fit for the Chargers. But again, I don't know if he'll fall. I think Miami is like Tua for a couple of years, so we'll have to see. After that, again, there's a bunch of tackles, things like that. But if there's players or rosters you want me to look at, again, this is the start of the season roster here that I downloaded off of Operation Sports, so you can go and take a look at that and check that out. So, but yeah, gosh, I've been using I had a franchise going, and it's funny, I actually downloaded these off of the cloud, so I was able to recover like a bunch of old dynasties that I haven't even opened. I haven't even opened the dynasty I've been playing in quite a while, but it's been cool. I'm in like the third year already, so I can show you guys around that if you're curious. Again, this is really just a stream. If you have any requests, anything you want to see, kind of going back to a throwback game here a couple nights before the draft. I figured this would be fun, or we can just jump into some gameplay if you want to watch me probably get schooled. Again, maybe play as a couple of these teams would be fun, so maybe we'll do that. First, a quick shout out to the because I'm a slider person, as you know. I think the sliders I'm using are on Operation Sports. They are not mine. J-Kit's NCAA 14 sliders. They're really, really good. Heisman difficulty. They're tough. You can see the penalties are nice and balanced. Actually, these aren't the right ones. Hang on. Let's load these. I'm glad I checked. But again, thanks for tuning in here. Again, just what is this? Only 4 profiles. I don't know. I don't even know what that mic one is. I didn't create a profile. I must have. Like I said, I downloaded a bunch of stuff off the cloud, so I don't even know what's here. But I know that's the proper setting I was using. So let's go back and check. I know he had his first 2 penalties at 91. Yeah, there we go. So here's his, again, J-Kid sliders and Operation Sports. This is Heisman difficulty. Look at these guys. They're fun, though. They are super challenging. Maybe before we jump into some gameplay, I'll, hey Daniel, hey Connor, I will show you around my my franchise, which is with the University of Kentucky. After starting at the University of Temple, and I started back with the original rosters. I started back in, I guess this is the most, I don't even know what file here. Preseason? I didn't play the game yet? I don't know if that's right. I have a bunch of these backup saves. Oh no, these aren't going to be right. Because some of these, again, some of these are like at different dynasties I haven't even played. Utah, yeah, that's definitely not Utah. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, I'm testing out the Elgato system here, so I wanted to make sure the microphone sounded okay for tomorrow's stream, and we're going to be streaming kind of like an interactive series where I want anybody who's really watching who wants to participate. We're going to be doing NFL Head Coach 09, an old game, but probably the best franchise gaming experience you can get on a console, in my opinion. I'd say that and like NCAA, or what's it called, College Hoops, 2K8, probably the 2 best. But we're going to be doing a series tomorrow, and I just wanted to make sure this all worked and it was stable. I have it's crazy, like the setup. I have it running through an old Surface Pro 2 that I probably bought back in like 2011. It definitely took some finagling today, but I got it going. It's my little quarantine project, I guess. It's been somewhat fun and quite distracting. So I actually, for Madden, I don't remember, Daniel, who's Madden sliders. I never really found a set I liked. And that's not to say anything. I just literally haven't. I played the Madden I played, like 90% of my Madden gaming this year was in our online league for the Sim Sports gaming site, which is still active and probably still has a couple open teams. I just got kind of sick of Madden and backed out. But so anyway, yeah, that's I don't even know those sliders. But Blake Rowe, who's part of our, no relation. Everybody laughs and thinks that it's some kind of like pseudonym for me. But Mike Lowe, Blake Rowe, 2 different people. But Blake is on our SSG. He runs the Madden League. He's on our SSG Discord if you want to get in touch with him. But their sliders are super, super good, and I forget where he got them from. But they're really good, and I think they're actually probably his kind of custom sliders at this point. But now, where the hell was I going? Oh yeah, we were loading Dynasty. Sorry, see, getting distracted here. Well, we know it's a Kentucky save, and I know that eventually these logos will disappear. So that's an Oregon one. Oregon. I don't ever remember it being Oregon. Okay, I remember these old Virginia. It must be like way the hell down here. That's an online Dynasty. These are the end of the seasons. And see, these are all like my backups because I was doing the whole like 4-team tournament setup. Ah, here we go. Here's some Kentucky ones. Well, South Carolina, It's one of these two, so I don't know. Let's see. Too many damn file downloads. So beat South Carolina would have been the other save. Let's see. Week 7, and this is what, 2015? Let's just look at our schedule here. And again, these are using the JKit Heisman sliders on OS. They're awesome. They take some getting used to. They definitely take some getting used to. So let's do our team schedule. Kentucky off to a 5-0 start. So okay, so this was the game. Yeah, so this. Or did I already play? I feel like I already played that Southern Miss game. Let's see. Back out one more time. You guys want to see gameplay? What are you guys interested in seeing? I put a pull out on Twitter, and this game said I wanted to stream something kind of vintagey from PS3, and this game led the way with the vote. So now I'm just curious what people want to see. I thought people would be curious to see rosters and whatnot, but we can always jump back into that. But I hope it looks good and it sounds good. I mean, I'm watching it here kind of in the background on the surface. It looks pretty good. So I can assure you it's one of these, because I always do this for like odd number weeks and then even number weeks. And then these are all of these different, this is when I got offered a different job. So I started this franchise at Temple, and I think I coached there for 2 years. Went to a couple of bowl games. I think we went 1-1 at a bowl game, and then afterwards just getting a few offers, but nothing that really enticed me to leave Temple. I actually had a lot of fun at Temple. But then kind of like almost towards the end of the coaching carousel. So actually, gosh, I don't know which one it is. No, it's got to be this one. Yeah, it's got to be. So anyway. Danny, I'll try to keep it realistic for sure, yeah, because I like to talk strategy, and again, I think timing it up with like the actual start of the NFL drafts should be really cool for that. Oh, you've never seen this game in detail? Okay, yeah, we can do some gameplay. And the Dynasty, while we're here, I can definitely show it to you. So, again, as I was mentioning, let's kind of start with my coach here. The nice thing about this game is like almost everything works really well, unlike Madden even today where there's just some goofy stuff. I think coach info is where I want to go. Maybe let's see. Just trying to remember where to like see my coach history. Those are the skills. It's been a while. I haven't jumped into this game in a while. Oh, here it is, coach contracts. So this should show, yeah, so this will show my history. Oh, shoot, but it shows the Kentucky history. Yeah, and I can't see. So, but again, I started in 2013 with Temple. Played the 14th season with Temple. I think this year we went like 9-3. We won a bowl game. This year, I think we went like 8-4 at Temple. And I lost my bowl game on the last, somewhere, I think I put it up on Twitter. Like the last play of the game, we lost on. Like I couldn't convert from like the 3-yard line and we lost. And that was my last moment as the fictitious coach of the Temple Owls. So anyway, during the coaching carousel, which is a really cool feature in this game, it literally is a coaching carousel. So like it has, this coach has been fired. It starts off with any coach that's retired has been fired, and then it just starts pulling up different candidates. So it'll say like rumored candidates, like these 5 guys. And then, you're not on a lot of them. It usually starts with some big programs. Like let's just say Alabama was hiring a new coach. They probably wouldn't be looking at me. And it would go to like the Ohio State offensive coordinator. And these guys are in the game. Like they're actual real people, because you can edit those names just like you can edit the player rosters. And so it's really neat to see, especially if you start with one older like I did back in the 13th season, because you're seeing these coordinators who are already coaches in real life, and some of them already coaches who have been fired after leaving, right? So it's been kind of interesting to see the history. So So it looks like I lost 10 games total. Up at the top, you can see my career record. So if we take away those 5, I went 16-10 in 2 years at Temple. And I said I'm pretty sure the first season was 9, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, so that gives you an idea. You can see my record versus top 25 versus rival schools. I somehow have a coach prestige now of A. I'm not really sure how that happened. Or I don't think that's school prestige. But again, being a coach in the SEC, it was just too hard to pass up. The opportunity was pretty cool, and I think Kentucky's got really nice uniforms, which is probably silly, but I mean, I've had people ask me on Twitter even today, like, hey, which MLB The Show team should I take? And I don't know. I mean, whatever one you want, but I think about some of those little things, like make sure you like the stadium, make sure you like the uniforms, because those are the things you can't change. You can change most of the other stuff. So Daniel wants to see some gameplay, Dynasty features. Yeah, Daniel, we'll play around here in Dynasty a little bit. Why can't Madden focus on really updating franchise? Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, it doesn't make them a lot of money, I think is the answer. But you'll see it, Daniel, if you've never seen this game, I mean, this will make you pissed off at Madden. So you can see there's a coach skill tree. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's actually very similar to what you see in NFL head coach, which you'll see in the stream tomorrow. But basically, as a head coach, you have 2 areas, right? You have the game management, which of course applies to like actual played games, and then you have recruiting ones. So like, for instance, I focus more on the game ones. I think most people, when they start this game, are going to focus heavily on recruiting. But with this slider set, my God, they're hard. So I wanted to give myself some different things, and at the same time, not make it too corny. So like, for instance, this one I've upgraded once, Road Warrior. My quarterback shines on the road, won't get rattled by home field advantage. So that definitely helps when you have like young quarterbacks especially. I haven't upgraded this next one because you can see the next level, if I were to upgrade it to level 2, it says the CPU does not make false starts. And I don't like to do anything that's going to like limit penalties, because like most EA Sport games, the penalties aren't always as, I guess, robust as they should be. Antifreeze is one that's dealing with your kicker. Then we have some here about setup plays. So like that's like, I don't know if that's ever been in Madden, but basically if you like run a formation, and so let's just say you keep running like, you know, an off-tackle run, right? And you run it just with success a few times, and eventually it's going to set up like a counter run to the left, right? Which will look like that run to the right. Or again, you can set up for a play action pass on it, and it'll, anyway, the more you kind of set up out of a different formation and run a certain plays without being too repetitive, the game will reward you with a setup play, which kind of just catches, it's like almost like how Madden has the Superstar X Factor stuff. I mean, it's not quite as crazy as that, but like you just have a play that's going to be more effective because you're catching a defense, especially defense that might be like low on awareness. You're going to catch them a lot off guard. Some of these things that I unlocked give you a lot of the stuff you do see in Madden. So like just kind of seeing like passing matchups pre-plays, like if you want to see like your receiver's height or their speed versus the cornerback's press ability or something like that, that's what those are unlocking. And then there's all kinds of different stuff up here, dealing with like, you know, having your team start hot in rivalry games and things like this. Again, player discipline I probably won't ever unlock because of penalties. Again, more hot-cold stuff. Oh, excuse me. Learn which type of plays your opponent calls. I think this, yeah, you're showing your opponent's previously called play. So again, this is in Madden, right? You usually see this in Madden, or at least you did last year. So this would unlock that. And of course, there's some recruiting ones here. The ones I've unlocked is it increases your scouting efficiency to 100 so that you don't have to. So basically, when I go and visit I go scout a prospect, I can get as much of him unlocked as I can with just one visit as opposed to like 3 or 4. So that obviously saves a lot of time, especially when you're a bad program like Temple, because these traits do carry over. Let's see, what is this? Oh, this is an extra recruiting points in the first 7 weeks of the season, and that's kind of where I ran out of points. And you get to do the same thing with your coordinators, right? So Pete Rextis is our defensive coordinator. He was here when I got here. We have him. It increased to the power and finesse moves for defensive linemen, and then we have the ability for a little bit improved man coverage and press coverage, because I like to play a lot of man coverage. So that's where he's at. Our offensive coordinator, Curtis Johnson. So again, better fatigue, less injuries. This is, again, less fumbles. This is better route running by your receivers. This is better running by your running backs. You know, better quarterback play, which you're going to definitely need with these sliders. This is, and he had all these already, so this guy came pretty loaded. We have a pretty good offensive coordinator. So again, just helping with blocking. So those are little things that you can do there, and as you progress through, just like you would in Madden with like XP, you'll be able to upgrade these as you go. But it's neat. Like, it has all of the coach records and stuff are in here. So like, I can look at this and you can see there's the top 5 at this particular time. So again, this is in 2015, 3 seasons in here, and you can see there's some familiar names there at the top. But a lot of guys aren't even with those schools anymore, right? Well, Mac Brown's not. Is Steve Spurrier? He retired, right? Spurrier's not still at South Carolina, is he? Frank Helly's still there. So then you got me, 87th. But it's really cool, right? You get this. You get the ESPN information here. You get all of the top stories and whatnot. So again, they're just little blurbs. It's nothing, not even as good as really NFL 2K5. But it just gives you little, you know, some things that are going around the league and so on. Of course, the top 25 polls, so you get all of that. So Michigan 5-0, number 1 in both polls right now. I don't think. Well, I'm yawning. It's late for me. I don't think I'm ranked anywhere, but it'll show us others receiving votes. And 5-0. I mean, no one's given us any love. Let's see how this Kentucky team got to 5-0, because I'll be honest, I don't remember. And then we'll come back and look at some of these. So we can go look at our team schedule here. Mark has a good question. I don't know. I never tried. Do your sliders work for college rosters on MLB The Show? I guess. I didn't know there was even a college roster out. That's pretty cool. I mean, it should. It's just the game mechanics. It's not really, as long as the ratings aren't like, I mean, that's going to have more to do with the ratings than my sliders. It should. My sliders work with the game. So let's look at Kentucky's schedule. I'm assuming there were some cupcake wins out of those 5. So we beat a unranked Auburn team, who's, or at least I think they were unranked at the time. I remember this game. This was a tough road game. My first game at Kentucky. So 3-2 Auburn. We beat them 42-35. I believe that came down like to the very end, like the last drive of the game or something like that. Let's see. So I mean, how nice you can go back and actually look at all this stuff. So we were up 7-0. We were up 14-0, and then they came back and tied it 21-14. Then they went up 28-21. We tied it. They went up. Yeah, look at this. We scored with 5 seconds to go. So our quarterback had a 73-yard run with 5 minutes left in the game to tie it, and then our running back scored with 5 seconds left. Yeah, I remember that game. So if I recall, I've been using kind of like a 2 quarterback, or have I? No, yeah. Yeah, I've been using both quarterbacks. So this M. Smith guy, I can't remember his first name, he's kind of my pocket passer. And then I think it's Jalen Whitlow is just so crazy fast. So I have him in certain formations just to kind of let him run around a little bit. As you can, you know, again, he had that 73-yard touchdown run that you saw in the box score. So again, he's just a beast of a player. We can look at him in a little bit. So then we went to Louisville, who was actually a really big rival of ours at Temple. They were a really good team in our conference the first year, and then with the realignment, they switched over and left the conference that I was in with Temple. So that was kind of fun to play them again. Beat them this time. They're off to a bit of a rough start, 1-4. Then we actually, no, this is not the current LSU team, obviously, but LSU's kind of a rough team this year in the SEC, it looks like, but we beat them 35-14. Beat Florida by 2 points. So again, we're playing some big name schools, right? But these teams aren't having great years. I mean, 3-2, 1-4, 3-2, and they're all pretty close games, minus the LSU one, which, God, I don't even know what happened there. And then South Carolina, same thing, just not a great team. And so next up, we have a non-conference game here, Southern Miss, who's 0-4, then a bye week. So, I mean, we're going to be potentially bowl eligible here. But again, can't get ahead of ourselves. We have Mississippi State, Missouri playing some a little bit better teams, USF non-conference, at Vanderbilt. And then a tough game here against a ranked Georgia team in Georgia. And then finishing with the rivalry with Tennessee. So, yeah. So that's what's going on in my particular franchise. If you want to see some, let's see who's up for the Heisman, right? Now again, this is 2015, so there should be some familiar names though, maybe. Alec Morris, I think I remember him playing for Alabama. Tommy Armstrong Jr., he's in the mix for the Heisman. Zach Oliver, Northwestern, my wife's alma mater. I don't think I've ever heard of him, Zach Oliver. He's 90 overall though, it's pretty good. Thomas Tyner. I haven't heard of any of these guys. Jonathan Williams. They're pretty good players. A lot of them ranked in the 90s. Yeah, this is a great game, Daniel. This is definitely a classic. How does the game deal with seniors? Like, does it show you? Yeah, it'll show you. It's not always completely accurate. Like, it's not always just, I don't think it's just straight based on ratings, or maybe it is, but it's not based on like stats per se. So like sometimes you'll see like, hey, the Heisman winner wasn't even drafted. That's happened before, right? I mean, if there's like option quarterbacks and stuff, I mean, back in the day, they didn't have really a place in the NFL. So there were times when that did happen. But yeah, it'll definitely show you. And actually, I was able to export. I have both of the draft classes because one of the Maddens, I must be like Madden, whatever one came out in 13, right? Or Madden 14. I should buy that. That'd be cool because I've exported just in case. I've saved the two draft classes from this game, and so back then, Daniel, you could put those into Madden, and so for your Madden draft, it would be players from this. So that actually would be a cool maybe stream series to do. Like either play the college game, but then like do the Madden draft just in the background. Like don't actually worry about playing it, just kind of simulate it and see how they do, or vice versa. Play one. But yeah, anyway, that'd be cool. So they have things like toughest places to play, and you can really feel these games. When you go into play a road game in Alabama, I mean, you can. It's loud. Your controller's shaking. It's pretty cool. Like they did a really good job of simulating different things like that. What else? Players of the Week, obviously, is kind of self-explanatory. This will give you a kind of like a 4-year outlook as to like where your team can expect potentially to be ranked. So like right now, I picked a good year to go to Kentucky, but it's not looking good the next few years. So maybe that's something for me to build on, or maybe get the hell out of Dodge before it gets worse. So, and again, I think these are just ranked on more or less recruiting classes and so on. So, but we have to look at recruiting, right? We'll have to definitely look at that. Let's look at some of my team stats here so far. So let's see. I mentioned I used 2 quarterbacks, but really one's just a runner. You can see he's only attempted 4 passes. Here he is. Maxwell Smith. It's a 93. 10 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. 67%. He's been sacked 14 times. Let's look at rushing. Here's that quarterback, right? Jalen Whitlow. 13 carries, so he's kind of a home run hitter for us when we put him in there in different situations. Josh Clemens has been good. He's already got over 500, almost 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. I'm trying to remember if we have any decent receivers. Ryan Timmons, a little undersized, but a nice player. Darryl Collins. Josh Clemens, the running back. So again, probably a lot of guys you have not ever heard of. But let's see who like some of these bigger programs are playing, right? So I think we saw their quarterback already. It's always kind of fun to look and see. There's TJ Yeldon, right? This is in 2015. He's a senior. Kenyon Drake's also a senior. Derrick Henry's a sophomore. Look at this. Look at their running backs. That is ridiculous. Oh my God, Derrick Henry's your third string running back. OJ Howard, the tight end. Amari Cooper is a senior. So it's really like, and that's why I know a lot of people like to use the real, like, updated rosters, but I always find that odd because like you're playing with like a 2020 roster, but the game's in 2013. So I enjoy kind of going back and reminiscing and seeing some of these old players. Let's see, we can look at like Ohio State. No, let's just look at like, let's go to the Pac-12, right? So here's some Pac-12 quarterbacks. Again, this is 2015. Brett Hundley, former Green Bay Packer. Oh, let's look at like attempts. Jeez, don't really recognize anybody out of these. Let's do the SEC. Here's Dak Prescott. He's a senior. Nate Peterman, a junior. That's Marty Morningweg's son, I believe. Skylar Morningweg. Let's see here. See if there's any Big Ten quarterbacks we recognize. Trey Roberson. I can't remember if Trey Roberson ever made it to the NFL. Connor Cook. Definitely didn't pan out like a lot of people thought. Jake Rudock. That's when he was with Iowa. He, of course, transferred to Michigan as a grad student and got drafted. Was he drafted by the Lions? I think he was, or just signed. Yeah, I think he was actually drafted by the Lions. Cardell Jones. Christian Hackenberg is a junior. So, yeah, it's always kind of fun to go back and see. Johnny Manziel, by the way, won the Heisman, I think, 2 years in a row in this franchise for me. Not for me, when he was with Texas A&M, and I don't know if he's still here. We'll see him here if he is. Or actually, no, because they're in the SEC now, right? Because they got moved. Let's look at the Big 12 quarterbacks really quick. Trevon Boykin. Don't recognize any of those guys. Jacoby Brissett. Trying to see, I can't remember if Johnny Manziel, because I think he did come back. Because I remember thinking, like, God, this is nuts. This guy's going to be back for his senior year. But I don't know. I feel like he'd be here. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's back. So we can look at, so he's a senior. He stayed in school, right? Look at what he has done already. So in 2013, he, of course, won the Heisman. He won the Maxwell for best quarterback. In 14, he also won the Maxwell. 13, going back a year, Walter Camp. The O'Brien in 14. They're not really in order. So basically, back-to-back Heismans, back-to-back Maxwells, and then the O'Brien 1 year and the Walter Camp another year. Here's his stats here, so you can see the years. Over 3,000 yards both years he won the Heisman. Just about 40 touchdowns per. Only about 200 yards passing, but again, I'm willing to bet he probably had a lot of rushing yards too. Oh yeah, look at this. Over 1,000 yards rushing to go with it. And he was like their entire offense. I mean, 200 yards passing and then, 80 something, 75. Double-digit touchdowns, just about. It's interesting, he only had 2 rushes more than 20 yards in both seasons. just very, very consistent. Catch any passes? Nope. So he's definitely in this particular franchise. He has been the player. Good old Johnny Manziel. I have not played him though in this franchise before. Anthony, this is PlayStation 3. But yeah, this is a classic game. I think the only thing that kind of bugs me about this game is that your offensive lineman won't get hurt in played games. So there's like some little workarounds that people have used where like you can adopt like a sister team that you're simulating. So let's just say Southern Miss, right? So like since I don't play Southern Miss other than this week, they could be my team that is like my sister team, and if their left tackle gets hurt for 3 weeks, then I'll bench my tackle for 3 weeks. So like there's little workarounds that people have done that you can do, but it's a bummer. Like I have seen them. I think I've seen one injury before, but it was probably on like a fumble where he got tackled. You know, it was just a super fluky thing. But for whatever reason, offensive linemen, pretty much no one gets hurt in this game unless it's like involved in a tackle, which is a little bit disappointing. Because again, your defensive linemen, same thing, aren't really getting as many injuries. But again, there's little things you can do if you wanted to, you know, have a sister team, so to speak. You could do that and kind of match up people. So I don't have any injuries just yet, but I'm not the only team in the country with no injuries. I'm sure we could find this team, yes. Like I haven't played Alabama. So the game's just a little light on injuries, but it's a game. Most games are. If you had a realistic amount of injuries, you'd have so many guys hurt that people would get pissed and upset and everything else. So rushing leaders, just to see if there's any names we recognize. These are the rushing leaders. Our guy's 12th, not bad. Where's our quarterback at? 47. Receiving leaders, I'm spreading the ball around, so we don't really have like a go-to guy. There's O.J. Howard again, the top mix, or the top floor there. Tackles leaders, we have a lot of guys leading in tackles here. Our defense isn't too great. So that's something too you'll sometimes see. And again, you can easily adjust that if you feel like you're playing too many minutes. You can lower that. This is the first year I've seen that though. So 1-1, it's too early in the season. And I think 2, our defense isn't very good. So we are on the field a lot. We're in a lot of shootouts. And I think in played games, you just don't see tackle distribution the same as you do in simulated games. So, but again, it's not always that crazy. So. You can see sack leaders there, a bunch of dudes I don't even recognize. Interception leaders, same thing. I don't even know who any of these guys are. It's interesting. Kicking leaders. I don't recognize any of those guys as NFL kickers either. So again, that's just a look. I got to show you recruiting though, right? It'd be sad to not look at recruiting here because this is one of the most popular parts. So again, I mean, you have everything from like the Spark 100 or Sparks 100, whatever it's called. The top player in this particular draft class is Tony Brown. He's a power running back out of Carroll City, Florida, and he's already committed to the University of Florida, and you can tell that because his team's color is in color there, and he's got a check mark next to him. Second best player, Andre Fowler, perhaps following in the footsteps of Johnny Manziel. They grab a guy who, let's see if he could be a good quarterback or not. But these were the schools that he was looking at. He ends up going with Texas A&M. I'm looking at, I want to see, oh yeah, so the very last 2 ratings, throw power and throw accuracy. So this guy right here, Andre Fowler, he's already an 81 as a incoming freshman. He's going to be really good. So they already have their next Johnny Manziel. There he is. That's scary. Demetrius White is a 5-star athlete from Security Whitefield, Colorado. Interesting. 5'10", 215. He is not committed yet, so he's looking at the couple Big 12 schools there. Nebraska and the Big 10. Top receiver, Ryan Brown. He is from Tarpon Springs, Florida. Looking at some Big Ten schools and then Georgia. It's always fun. You come across some funny names. you'll see some just hilarious. Like I remember when I was in college. I remember just playing this with a bunch of buddies. We had an online franchise or an online dynasty going, and I remember I recruited a running back named Rodney Dangerfield. That was like straight up his name, Rodney. I did not edit it. Rodney Dangerfield. I used to just yell. He got no respect. It's just ridiculous. So it was always fun. It's always good to see names. I know I had a buddy. We always laugh. We always exchanged funny like NCAA football names. But he had a guy. One of his classic players was named Thomas Thomas. He had a William Gilliam was another one of his classic players. So it's always hilarious when you get some guy named William Gilliam who's like in the running for an award, or Thomas Thomas. But yeah, some of these names can be just ridiculous. So as far as Kentucky's recruiting board, let's see where we're at. We got 24 targets right now. So we are again, we're in the SEC, but we are not one of the best teams in the SEC. So I had to lower our standards a little bit, but we're looking at a couple quarterbacks: Daniel Smith, John Christian. Daniel Smith is, with teams being that far negative, I mean, he's pretty much a lock to sign with us. And so is John Christian. But I don't think we've offered both these guys a scholarship. So 6'2", 207, 6'4", 206. He is more of a scrambler, and he's more of a balance. So again, I'm trying to keep that trend going with this team of keeping a pocket passer, but also getting an athletic guy who can run around a little bit more. But it does things like, again, you can earn bonus points based on like how close your school is to the player's home. What kind of playing time can you offer? And then that's not based on like what you say. That's just based on like looking at your depth chart. Again, your playing style has to do with your stats. So each of these guys are going to be looking at different things. Oh, they're actually not. That's weird. But typically players will look at different things. And as you scout players, you can start to get an idea of their ratings. Otherwise, these will be like grades. So like before you scout, it might say B for speed or something like that instead of 83. And so that was one of the little quirks I unlocked that helps me to see these guys. And again, you can see what schools were interested. We're the only schools offering them scholarships. So sad for these guys. Let's see if there's anybody else here that looks interesting. You can schedule visits for them to come see your campus, but this player is not ready to do that yet. So here's a JUCO 2-star running back. I have not offered him a scholarship. I think I just kind of have him on the radar. We're not even recruiting. We have no points towards him at all. No fullbacks because nobody uses fullbacks anymore. Chad Carter and Ryan Rogers, 3-star receiver. 2 3-star receivers here, so nothing too crazy. 3-star tight end. I like how they all just have like first names. Frank Alexander, Zach Ryan, Chad. Oh, I guess he has a real last name. Ryan Rogers, kind of a last name. A lot of 3-stars. I don't remember our draft class being this blah. Oops. Man, did I recruit anyone who's not a 3? I have a couple of little like recruiting house rules for myself. One of them being, and I'll show you guys in a second in case you start playing this game or pick up a used copy. It's a little bit hard to find, and don't be alarmed at the prices you see what this game's going for now. I got mine on OfferUp. That's the best advice I can give if you're looking for this. Go on OfferUp on their app, search for NCAA 14, and if nothing pops up, you can set a subscription where like it'll ping you anytime someone lists it, and eventually someone's mom's gonna find their kid's old copy and sell it for like $5. That's kind of what I did with mine. I don't remember what I paid for it. It was more than $5, but maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30? I don't remember what I paid. A lot for a game that's like, how old now? 5 years old, 6 years old. So, but this is, again, total classic. So again, just some guys we have on our radar, not recruiting 3-punters, but then of course you can recruit athletes. But one of the rules I do with recruiting is, because it's pretty easy to dominate recruiting if you really want to, once you kind of figure out how to go. But I only look at players who have a particular interest in me, right? So like I won't recruit guys like this, even if it's like, oh, this guy's, you know, maybe he has me like 12th on the list. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to recruit him because it's just too easy to kind of come in and just throw all your points at him and you could potentially get him. So it's not quite that easy, but it gets a little too easy. And so I always kind of take the wait for them to come to you approach. So yeah. So that's it. Your school gets ratings in different areas, right? And this all impacts recruiting. So your playing style, the player's ability to get playing time, as I mentioned, proximity to home, the coach prestige. I'm not sure how my coach prestige is so high. But then again, I think there's just a lot of I think most coaches are like around A, right? Or else they're getting fired in college football. So but you can see Urban Meyer's there, Luke Fickell, Brady Hoke, of course Nick Saban. There's conference prestige, which always helps. Another reason why I was excited to take the SEC. And my franchise, the SEC, is down a little bit there. You can see even with Johnny Manziel in the conference, a little down. Big Ten just running away with things. And what's really cool is this game came out the year before the 4-team tournament, but there are ways to mod the game. Again, it takes a little bit of work, but there's some threads up on Operation Sports that can show you how to mod it into a 4-team tournament. And that's exactly what I did. After the first year, I just did the normal BCS because that's what it was in real life. But last year I did the 4-year tournament, and I'll do the same thing this year. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Neat little thing to get done. You'll need a USB drive and a couple other things. It's all free though. It just takes a little effort and a little bit of reading. So, but that's the game. You can jump in and play some gameplay. Let me check the chat here. My phone is like about to die, everybody. Yeah, recruiting is pretty awesome in this game. Guys, I'm gonna just go grab a phone charger really quick. Hang on one second. Alright, so let's jump into some gameplay. And we're just going to jump into play now. Just do a little exhibition. I've never done coach mode in this game, that'd be cool. You can also play as the mascots for some weird reason. Oh, let's see. Isn't there like a random? Yeah, let's just random team here. I wanted to get some like players who are gonna be tops in the draft. So I'm thinking of doing like Ohio State, like Ohio State versus Clemson or something. It might be kind of fun. I want to try Isaiah Simmons. You guys have any requests for teams? Again, these are the 2019 rosters, so see how good Joe Burrow is. Yeah, it's nighttime. Let's do LSU. Let's see. How do you search for? Oh, I thought you could cycle by random or by their rival. You know what? I'll be Alabama. I've never ever played with as good of a team as Alabama, and I'm curious to try to Because I don't know. Part of me wants the Lions to actually pick Tua. Like, first, I'm a huge believer. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be great. But I want to see... I would just be okay with them even trading them to kind of hold him hostage. And trade him to Miami or Jacksonville or San Diego or whatever it's called, the Chargers, or even New England. Because I think those teams just are kind of expecting that they're just going to fall and no big deal. They'll play at Tiger Stadium. But I really like Tua. I think he's going to be awesome. And I think it goes back to what everyone thought about him last year before Joe Burrow came out of nowhere. So that is the year the Dolphins had the number 1 pick, Daniel. So it'll be the 08. In real life, they take Jake Long. And in that series, yeah, he will be. They had the number 1 pick unless they traded or whatever. Yeah, I would not pass on Tua. I think there's a lot of teams who are blowing his injury and stuff out of proportion because I think they all want him. But that's why I really think I don't know. I'm curious. I heard that. I guess Washington was getting a lot of calls today about teams wanting to move up, and that would be really great for the Lions because then they could potentially get Chase Young even. So, but I honestly kind of think the Lions are going to pick a left tackle, and no one's really expecting it, but that's just kind of what I see here. So Alabama, LSU, what the hell? Let's play with some Tua here. Jerry Jeudy. There's going to be some good players in this game. Joe Burrow, of course. Grant Delpit.
The fans and alumni look forward to this game all year long. The winner of this SEC rivalry will have some pretty big bragging rights right here in the South. Before we head down to the field for the coin toss, we'd like to remind you this game is brought to you by Coke Zero. Right? Real Coke taste, 0 calories. Enjoy everything.
No way. We got to restart this game. I'm sorry. We can't play an LSU during the day. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, I think Okudah is definitely the favorite pick. I would be thrilled with Okudah. I'm just a big believer that pass coverage nowadays matters more than pass rush. And yeah, I would be thrilled with Okudah. I just hope that we can trade with you guys because I'd rather pick Okudah at 5 or 6. But some team is gonna come get Tua. He's worth it. Even if they're like, oh well, what if he's injured? Like that pick could be. Hey, you know what? You have 50% chance anyway, right? Joe Burrow is only 50% likely that he'll be any good. So what the hell? You're already taking a huge chance anyway. Go get him. And if I was Miami, I wouldn't sit there and take the risk because I think there's a huge drop off after Tua. I actually think Tua is better than Burrow. And I'm in the major minority on that, but give me 2 years of a proven guy versus Joe Burrow looked great this year. I'm probably sure he will be pretty good, but it just kind of came out of nowhere. Where are we going? LSU. So we got to make sure we make it a night game. I wasn't paying attention. How was LSU there? Looks like a quick way to scrape through all these. I'm rusty. I haven't played this game in a while, but it'll be fun. Okay, let's see if we can set this to be a night game. Pretty sure we can. I mean, live feed. Why was it like the middle of the day? Time. No, I don't want system clock. How do I turn that off? Oh, here we go. Heavy snow, oh my god. No, we just want... partly cloudy is fine. What a light breeze. Primetime start. Yeah, 75. There we go. There we go. Now it's a night game. Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I don't really care. Honestly, I don't care what the line. They could use anything. I wouldn't even care if they pick Tua. And I love Matthew Stafford. Like, I love Stafford. There's really, outside of like running back and tight end and guard, and obviously like punter and kicker, there's nothing that I would be upset about them picking. I wouldn't be upset if they picked Simmons. I wouldn't be upset if they picked the tackle or Tua or even one of the wide receivers. But here's the key for me. I want them to trade down. Even Derek Brown. I have no problem if they take Derek Brown. I think he's a really, really good fit for the Lions, but not at 3. And maybe not even at 5. Like I would first, like someone like Derek Brown, I'd like to see them even trade down twice. Trade down with Miami to 5, and then maybe trade down again to 10 or 12, something like that. If Oakland wants to come get a quarterback or what have you. So here we go. Now it's night game. That's how it's supposed to be. I will apologize to all Alabama fans because I will probably disgrace your team here by playing poorly. So I'm sorry. But I've
Many
been
believe
Tua.
the SEC to be the best conference in the nation. Today we'll see why as 2 bitter rivals take the field. It's time for the coin toss now, presented by Coke Zero. Real Coke taste, 0 calories. Enjoy everything.
We'll have to 5 years from now, someone will have to pull up this stream and we can hear about all of our draft talk and see how stupid and wrong we all were. I want the ball first. I'll play with Tua.
LSU is ready to open this one up as they line up for the opening kick. He sends this one deep. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Alabama's coaching staff, they know they've got a star wide receiver. They know it's going to be a hostile environment. With that, we went to practice this week, Kirk. They had the crowd noise pumped up pretty good getting them ready for this game.
Yeah, they've done everything that they can do to get this offense ready for a tough environment. They had the crowd noise all week long, making it tough to communicate for the quarterback and his receivers. Now it's here. Now it's the game, and we'll see if all that preparation pays off. One thing we know for sure, they want to get the football into the hands of this receiver early and often if they want to win this game.
So you can do little strategy things. Let's run a counter here on first down.
So let's see what the offense can do as they come out onto the field.
So you can see my quarterback's a little bit nervous. Why isn't Tua playing?
They go with a run, and he's brought down in the backfield. Nowhere to go.
Oh, we got to change that. Oh, probably because he's hurt. I'm guessing they had these updated when I downloaded them. What's going on here? Oh, I see. I mean, you can be our backup. That's cool. There we go.
The halfback, that's a loss of 1. That'll bring up 2nd and 11. From their own 24-yard line.
So these are Heisman sliders, the hardest difficulty.
The quarterback in the gun with 5 receivers.
Oh boy.
And now the ball is loose. Oof. He picks it up. Brought down at about the 35. Wow, the receiver had a big play on his mind, and he forgot about securing the football.
I'm sure he'll hear all about that in practice from his coaches and teammates. This group of receivers is a competitive bunch, and they don't let each other get away with mistakes like that. Lucky for him, the offense recovered at that time.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on their own 35. And down he goes around the 36-yard line. A 1-yard gain by the halfback. He's taken down at about the 47-yard line. First and 10. Ball on their own 47.
Pretty normal flood play here. Oof. So that's the QB accuracy at 5.
When you feel pressure like that, the worst thing you want to do is just to throw the ball into coverage. He got away with one right there. He's very fortunate.
Get in a rhythm
he should just throw
with your
it away out of
quarterback a little bit. It's you can't just come out slinging deep on everything.
From their own 47-yard line, it's 2nd down. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. Fires out to his receiver. Tackle at the 44. It's 3rd down, and this offense is about 3 feet away from that 1st down marker.
Controller's vibrating.
It's arguably the loudest crowd in the nation, and they are turning it up a notch. And they get nice yardage on that run. They move the sticks after another 1st down.
Impressive drive by this offense so far. I really like what they're doing by keeping this defense on their heels and moving the ball downfield.
This is the 8th play of this drive. Tackle made at about the 41.
Game sounds. I've never played this game with headphones before. It sounds really awesome. I think the crowd just sounds really loud. I'd love to go see a game in LSU. It'd be really cool.
This is the 9th play of this drive. Passes it to the middle of the field, and he's taken down at the 32.
I like their playbook a lot.
3rd down again. One of the top stadiums in the nation. This crowd comes to play themselves. Slides down. 3rd down has been the charm on this drive.
It's been all about execution. When it comes to calling the right play at the right time, they've been able to do it here.
This is the 11th play of this drive.
Man-to-man coverage.
Harris
Oh,
will try the right
just couldn't get
side.
around.
Gets out
Trying to
to
move
about
that
the
lead
21.
block.
And this
Let's
is
try
the
the end
12th
around.
play of the
Let's see how that
drive.
works.
Here's a quick
Ooh,
throw.
terrible throw.
Picked off.
That's the
I
accuracy of
just don't
5
think
there.
he saw the defender, and he threw the ball right at him. That's what happens when you focus on one guy. You get tunnel vision.
Is he down at the 1? Oh yeah, they're at the 1. Screw it. Let's go Renegade.
First down. This is a scary spot deep in their own territory.
I'll play as a safety just in case.
Up the middle for a nice gain. Caught and out of bounds after a short gain. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 13. Throws quick to the receiver, and it falls incomplete.
I'm not so sure he made the best decision that time. That was a pretty tight area he was trying to throw that one into.
They go to the back, and he's hit immediately in the backfield. From their own 13-yard line. Third down. Delivers to the halfback on the screen. He gets hit out of bounds at the 11. And down he goes at the 48. Now here comes the offense, and you've got to wonder if that last interception's weighing on the quarterback's mind at all.
This quarterback can make good passes. He just needs to focus on not forcing the ball to his receivers.
Quick throw to the tight end. And they make the stop at the 48-yard line. From the 48-yard line, second down. They come out in an empty backfield.
Oof.
That's a great tackle at the 43. Third down now, and they need to get it down to the 38. Really one of the very tough places to play in college football, and it's no different today. Airing it out long. That's going to bring up fourth down.
Great hold by the defense. They were
I had him open
expecting the
earlier,
pass
but he wouldn't
play,
have had a
and they
first down.
defended it very well.
Oops.
From the 15. Brought down at the 24. don't think either team has a clear advantage so far. Let's see if they can make some plays and get a little separation. And he carries the ball for a nice gain. So it's second down now, and they need about 4 yards to pick up the first. They'll bring him down right around the 30. Five wide. Dillon was the intended target, and that'll make it fourth down.
The defense held their ground on that play. The quarterback just wasn't able to find any open receivers.
It's a bummer this game's not backwards compatible.
Makes it out to maybe the 40-yard line. You know, a lot of people in college football might find these types of games boring, but you look at the start of this game, this is good old-fashioned football, partner.
I agree with you, Brad. I think sometimes you look at games, and if it's sloppy offense, that's one thing. But when you see two defenses go out and play with a great deal of emotion and dominate a football game, sign me up for that every time.
Every drive's important in a tie game. I look for both sides to come out with some urgency. Gives it off.
Good job by the defense to overpower the offensive line and drop the back for a loss.
Chase on, he's going to be a first-round pick, I think it seems. A lot of people
We've played one. Now this one's scoreless. And we're ready for more football here in quarter number 2. And he tackles him hard at the 31-yard line.
The protection broke down. The defense was in the backfield in a hurry, and they brought the quarterback down. Nice play.
So the sack makes this third and very long. The crowd really making it difficult.
It's cold now, right? It's got a little blue circle on everything. Oh, wow.
Gets it out to his receiver in a
so
hurry.
Fast.
To the 20. What a play, and that'll set up a first and goal.
You can chalk that one up to the hundreds of passes the quarterback has thrown to this receiver in practice.
My Kentucky quarterback's probably not completing that.
And you could see it in the way he threw that pass.
Oh my God, that was a tight window. Ruggs, we're saying, might be the best receiver in this draft. Even though his teammate will probably get picked before him.
First down, and they've got their eyes on that goal line. Touchdown, Crimson Tide.
Outstanding run and great execution by the entire offensive unit, especially the blocking up front.
He makes the PAT. A 4-play, 60-yard drive, and it's good for 7 points.
Oh, I don't know, Danny. It's up to you. It's going to cost your team money if you fire him. Alright, guys, we saw a touchdown. It's getting a little bit late for me, so I'm old. I need to get some rest. But tomorrow, NFL Head Coach 09. That's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to start that stream off. I still don't know what team I'm going to use. I've talked about the Raiders. Of course, my Lions, which would just be really fun because of Matt Millen. But the Raiders are interesting, too, because I mean, they have Jamarcus Russell entering his second year. So we could completely change the script on what happened with him. And, of course, there's 29 other teams, or 30 other teams, I should say, that we could... I think it dropped for a second. Okay. I think it reconnected. I've never seen it do that. Let me see. I want to make sure this didn't completely drop here. Are you guys still there? Testing? Testing 1, 2, 3. Well, just in case, as I was mentioning, we will be streaming at 9 tomorrow here at the Sim Sports Gaming YouTube channel. So please subscribe, and we will be starting that at 7 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. So no MLB the stream on Wednesday, but we'll resume that one on Sunday like normal. So that's it. Again, hopefully you enjoy getting a little just unscripted sneak peek at some good old NCAA 14 classic game. If you have the time and you have the ability to run out, maybe pick up a used system. They're pretty cheap nowadays. Check OfferUp, check Facebook Marketplace, some other places you can see it. And again, the game, same thing. I got Head Coach sent to me on eBay from Canada. So there's always ways. They're all pretty cheap nowadays. So yeah, just something fun to check out if you're into that franchise mode sort of stuff. So I'm Mike Lowe, SimSportsGaming.com, everyone.